But you know, and then bringing it back to like you talked about. I wrote it down. The different high-rise buildings in the city, right? And there were like 3 functions that they came up with.
Yeah.
You know, to always like make that connection for them.
Yes.
And I think that was really important.
Yes. Yes.
So they could start to like see it, think about it, picture it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
What did you think?
The real world context is something
Yeah.
that I find is really missing, not just here, but just in general. And that's something that we really got to make real for our students. Is just like these things that we're teaching you exist.
Yep.
In the outside world, and these are some of the ways. So I really like this lesson because it gives a structured focus into the real world connection.
Sure.
So I thought that it was a perfect way to really bring that alive. I really liked how you gave the intro to this class. I thought that warm up really gave the opportunity to give it that hyper focus. So once that warm up was given, it allowed me to chunk it down and break it down into smaller pieces, because then the kids had they had the opening, they had the refresher, they had almost like the mini assessment of what they needed to do, and then the refresher again after that. So I thought that opening was like masterful. That was like perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then how you took it though, and you broke it down into smaller chunks for them though, like that took them to the next like level where they're like, okay, now I'm ready to do this.
Excellent.
And it was relevant, like you said.
Yes. Excellent.
You know, with that example of high-rise buildings.
Yeah.
So.
And I thought this was a great example of an entry level lesson, because what we were doing is we're introducing tools, we're introducing concepts, and we're introducing mechanisms. So like research was a little bit uncomfortable for them, but the way we broke it down really introduced a high level of research, because they were comparing and contrasting, they were asking questions, querying, they were creating comparisons and drawing connections to not only their notes that they took previously, but also the notes that were in their tool handout and some of the information that they were finding online. So I thought that all of that was a really high level way of bringing the information. And they were all discussing with each other too. They stayed pretty on topic.
Yeah, I think they did too.
Yeah.
So, and I wanted to, last class, there was a question about how they should research, and you said to type in a query or a question. And so I thought that was really important too, to like give them that, like you want to ask the question to Google or a query, and then you start using query for them, which was a new word for them.
Yep.
that
So I
they could
introduced
start
the
to-
vocabulary, give them the operational definition, and then
Yep.
only use that term so that
Exactly.
they can get used to the practice of it.
Absolutely, and I'll continue that because that's,
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, science is a really vocab heavy content area, so definitely giving them that seed and then having them practice with it will definitely, you'll see it like come alive in the
Yeah.
classroom.
I took a lot away.
All right, awesome, good.
Let's keep going.
Absolutely.